Hey everyone, Justin Allan Montgomery with Pro Course Start. Today I want to talk about the 5 critical components of building a successful online continuing education course business. You need to be focusing on the correct things if you're interested in building a continuing education course business the right way, okay? Now, there's a lot of information out there online on how to build a course business, but there are very few resources on actually how to build a continuing education course business where you're going to target professionals. Like, it doesn't matter if you're targeting a doctor, a chiropractor, a realtor, an accountant, a lawyer. The process is the same, okay? The only difference is that you're going to credit your courses differently if you're an attorney versus a doctor, right? And the content of your courses are going to be different, obviously. But the actual course business itself, how you're going to sell your course, how you're going to promote your course, how you're going to build an audience, okay? Those principles are the same regardless of who you are and who you're going to target. So I want to talk about the 5 critical components of building a successful online continuing education course business. I call these the 5 pillars of success, basically. The 5 pillars of a successful online course business, all right? So I developed these based off of how I scaled and grew the Elite Nurse Practitioner from $0 to an 8-figure course business. And these principles have been used with other professionals that I've consulted with and mentored with who built their continuing education course businesses. And every single time, the ones who are successful that build a course business that's, generated $500,000 their first month. I actually had a client who launched his course business in April and generated $500,000 in sales in his first month. I was blown away, but he followed the model. All right. He did exactly what I told him to do. So these 5 pillars of success are critically important. So integrate these into your mind. All right. In my opinion, it's not negotiable. If you want to do this the right way, follow these 5 principles. So pillar number 1, identify a problem in your profession and develop a solution to that problem. You can build 2 types of online continuing education course businesses. I've talked about this in other videos. You can build a course business that provides true value to people, that actually solves a real problem for them, okay? Something that transforms their professional life and even their personal life. Something that's truly transformational. You taught them a skill set that got them a promotion. You taught them how to start their own business, their own practice, whatever it may be. You taught them on how to communicate better with clients or patients. And now, they're getting better reviews. More and more clients are coming their way. Like, you actually teach them something valuable, not just generic, continuing education. All right. That's one model. The other model is just kind of just generic CE courses, something that's an hour long that gives 1 hour of CE credits or hours. It's just something on some generic topic within your field. It's very academic in nature, and the student completes it and gets their, CE credit, their CE hour. Now, that model works, but those courses are a lot lower value compared to the high value courses that transform their life. So the price difference between those 2 courses is significant. The CE course, $50, $100, but the valuable course you can sell for $500, $1,000, $3,000 because it's transformational. So you need to figure out what problem you're going to solve, because in my opinion, the best way to build a CE business is by providing true value. And you do that by identifying a problem in your profession and creating a solution to that problem, utilizing your unique expertise, your skills, and your knowledge. Because I guarantee you that you're probably good at something. I mean, if you've been in your career field for the last 5 years, you have knowledge, you have experience, you have skills that new graduates don't have. Okay, you've developed a skill set that novice professionals would love to know. All right. I mean, they just would love to know that. When I started the Elite Nurse Practitioner, I was only a nurse practitioner for 6 years. So wasn't a veteran, I was still pretty new. I was in it for 6 years, but I started practices and I taught other NPs how to start their own practice, and that was seen as very, very high value. I mean, I changed people's lives. So I provided true value to people. So if you want to build a continuing education course business and you want to charge more for those courses, all right, $500, $1,000, you need to teach something that's transformational. You need to teach them something that's unique in nature, something that they just can't find in a textbook, something they just can't look up on ChatGPT, all right? It needs to be something valuable. So that is my recommendation. You can build generic CE courses, that's fine, but the value in that is the actual CE, the credits, the hours, not necessarily the information in the course. A truly valuable course, people are buying for the information, not the CE credits. All right, that's the big difference there. If you can combine both together, like if you can teach something valuable, transformational, something that people are paying you for the actual information and knowledge in that course, and attach CE to it, that is a win. Like, that's what you have to do to build a multi-million-dollar continuing education course business. You can create a course business that just provides value that's transformational in nature and never attach CE to it and build that into $1 million course business. You can build a course business that just provides generic CE at $100 a course, $50 a course, and you can turn that into $1 million course business as well. But to build a course business that's multi-million-dollar, combine both. That's the trick. Okay, so pillar number one, identify a unique problem and use your unique skills and expertise to solve that problem. If you do that, you'll have some value. Okay, principle number two, pillar number two, marketing is the number one function of your course business. It's not the education, it's not the information you're teaching, it's not your social media posts, it is marketing, all right? The internet is a very, very noisy place. I mean, I'm sure you scroll through your feed, your Instagram feed, you know, if you're on Reddit, whatever, it's noisy. YouTube, it's noisy, right? There's just so much information being thrown at you. It's really hard to dissect what's real, what's not, what's actually valuable, what's not. And you are given ads all the time. And so if you don't market your course business, no one will ever know about it. It's as simple as that. Okay, you might have the most amazing course in the world. You might teach an attorney how to make $10 million or teach a doctor some niche skill set that'll take his practice to the next level. But if no one knows about it, no one gives a shit about it. They just don't, okay? You need to market your course. And there are free ways to do that, and there are paid ways to do that. This particular episode is not about the strategy that you can use to implement into it. I mean, I talk about that for hours in the Pro Course Start Blueprint because it is the number one function of your business. You go from being a course creator to being a marketer in a way, okay? You as the business owner needs to understand that you need to understand how to market. You need to understand the basic foundations of marketing if you want your course business to succeed. Once the course business is built, once your course is created, at that point, the entire operational goal of your business is marketing. Like, that's the goal. You need to market your business. You need to get the word out. You need to send your course business through as many channels as you possibly can. All social media channels, email marketing. You need to be in message boards on Reddit, contributing to communities. Like, you need to get the word out or no one will ever know you exist. Very, very important. And a lot of course creators, they never focus on marketing and they wonder why their courses just don't sell. The reason why is because they're not marketing it, all right? And that is why I focus so much on marketing in our comprehensive Pro Course Start Blueprint. Like, that's why I focus on marketing so much. Like, that is easily 50% of the course is just how to market, all right? Building your course is easy. It's not hard to build a course. But building that course business and marketing that business so people buy your course, that is the challenge. And that's what you need to make sure you are focusing on once the course business is built and once your course is created. At that point, it's marketing, marketing, marketing. It just is. It's not negotiable. It's just not. And that takes me to the next pillar, okay, the next principle. You need to provide consistent, valuable, free content. You need to establish your authority, all right? You need to build trust. You need to build an audience because doing that grows your business. It is the way you scale your course business. You don't want customers who just buy your course and then never think about you ever again. That's what a generic CE business does. You know, you buy some courses, you get your hours, your credits so you can renew your license, and then you never think about that business ever again. That model works. If you want to do that, okay? I mean, do that. Pro Course Start still helps you do it. I mean, that's a fine model. It works. But if you want to build a course business that's truly unique and separates you from everyone else, separates you from from the noise. You need to provide consistent, valuable, free content. You have to establish your authority. You have to make yourself credible in nature. People need to trust you before they drop $1,000 on a course, essentially, right? Now, the thing about consistent content is that you might be publishing an article 3 times a week and publishing a video like this once a week, and someone who subscribes to your email list watches the videos, reads the articles, and it might take them 3 months of reading your articles and watching your videos before they finally pull the trigger. But that was essentially a free customer, right? They trust you now. You've convinced them through your content that what you teach is a good idea for them, right? Like, I'm doing no different here with Pro Course Start. Like, this video that I'm creating right now, I'm not making $1 from this. The article that I published yesterday, I didn't make any money from that. I'm providing free value to professionals. I want you to understand that creating a course business is one of the best businesses that you can create as a professional because you leverage your expertise and it's predominantly passive in nature. So I'm providing consistent content. I provided consistent, valuable content with the Elite Nurse Practitioner as well. And then people then bought our courses. They might have not bought our courses the day that they subscribed to our email list, but they could buy it 3 months from now. All right. So I cannot stress how important it is to build consistent content. Your job after you build your course business out and you create your course, you essentially have 2 jobs, marketing and content creation. So you become a content creator essentially and a marketer. Like, that should be your job. You can hire that out. Yes, you can. But for the content, if you want to establish your authority and your credibility, you as the instructor, the course business owner, you really should be producing a lot of that content yourself if you can. Now, you can use some AI tools like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude. You can use tools to help you with that, but you still have to give the LLM, ChatGPT, Gemini, you still have to give it the idea, all right? So the ideas will come to you as you get your course business going because you will start interacting with potential students and customers and they will begin asking you questions. And so you take notes. What are people asking you? What are people commenting about? That turns into content ideas, right? You can turn one question into 2 or 3 videos or 2 or 3 different articles. So keep that in mind, okay? Content is king. You have to go into this from a content approach, all right? There's an article that I published on the Pro Course Start website that is basically how to create a course business with a content approach mentality. You should read that article. It's very, very important that you do this the right way. So go into it developing consistent content. If you do that, you will establish your authority, you will establish your credibility, and people will eventually buy your products, your services, your courses, your membership, your mentorship. I guarantee it, but it's a little bit of a long game. You do not see results instantaneously. You just don't. Sometimes it takes a little while, all right? Sometimes a potential customer has to read your articles and watch your videos 20 times before they're convinced to buy your course, all right? Okay, so the 4th principle to building a successful online continuing education course business. The 4th principle is focus on income generating activities, not technical details, not busy crap. I get emails all the time from people. You know, what course hosting platform should I use? What email marketing platform should I use? How do I structure my blog posts? What SEO tools do I need to use? These things are important, but they're not that important. At the end of the day, the students don't care about your tech stack in the background. They just don't care. They care about your value proposition, right? They care about the problems that you're going to solve. They care about your free, valuable content. That is what you need to be focusing on. That's what generates income, okay? Your tech stack on the back end doesn't. I scaled the Elite Nurse Practitioner to a $10 million plus course business using Teachable. Teachable is seen as one of the lower end course hosting platforms because there's not really a whole lot of integrations in it and it's not very advanced. It's pretty simple. My students didn't care. They didn't care. You know, I didn't have a bunch of fancy tech stacks. The business was simple. A simple business is a business that's simply ran, right? The more you complicate it, the more complicated your business gets. You don't want that. You want a simple business in nature, all right? And you need to focus on income generating activities in your continuing education course business. And those activities are content creation and solving real problems, providing real value. That's income generating activities and marketing too. That's what you need to be focusing on, not technical details. That stuff doesn't matter. People get analysis paralysis over stupid little things. Like, it just holds them up. Like, what kind of LLC do I need? Who cares? Just get an LLC and go. Where do I open up my bank account? Who cares? Just go open up a bank. Like, it makes no difference, right? Like, where do I host my website? It doesn't matter. Just host your website somewhere. Go to GoDaddy and create a website. Like, it's not that important. You can start fine-tuning those technical details later on, but you do not need to get stuck in analysis paralysis and overload paralysis during the startup phase. Get your business up and going. Okay, if you need the steps, the Pro Course Start Blueprint outlines it in the most simple, it's like the simplest way you possibly can create your course business, all right? If you need those steps, do that. But focus on just getting the business up and running. Just get it going. Get the business going. Focus on free content, valuable content, and solve real problems. Deliver good customer service. Those are the activities you need to be focusing on. And then the final fifth principle, the final fifth pillar, leverage the knowledge and work of others. Okay. You can do this by yourself. I did it by myself for 3 or 4 years. I'm doing Pro Course Start predominantly by myself, but you can't do everything. You can't be everything for everyone. You are going to need some help. You are going to need to hire some contractors to help you build the website, for example, or set up your Kajabi account. You might need to have some contractors that can help you set up your paid ads on Meta or Instagram or YouTube or whatever. You're going to need to leverage the work of some other people. As your course business grows, you will also need to leverage the knowledge of other professionals, because as your course business grows, okay, as your continuing education business begins to grow and you start building an audience, you start making more money, you're going to want to increase the lifetime value of your customer. All right. The lifetime value of your customer is essentially how much money can you make off of your customer over their lifetime. You want to increase that. You don't want to sell your course one time and that person never comes back and buys anything else from you. You don't want that. Marketing and selling to an established customer is 100 times cheaper than getting a new customer. So you want to maximize the lifetime value of your current customers. And the way you do that is by providing them new products, new courses, new services that complement your original flagship product. Okay, it doesn't matter what you teach, but you can create additional products that complement it. Advanced techniques, advanced skills, just anything that complements your flagship product, because your business's entire ecosystem revolves around that initial value proposition, that initial problem that you solve in your first flagship course. Everything revolves around that. All of your content, your courses, all of that. So you will want to build additional products as you grow in scale. And there will be a point, you'll get to a point where you just simply cannot create any more courses because you've leveraged all the knowledge you have up here. Like, let's say you created 4 or 5 courses, but there's still demand for new courses. Your business is still growing. You don't want to just stop. You want to continue to build more products. And you do that by leveraging the knowledge of another professional. You call up a professional colleague that you know. Maybe you post in a Facebook group. Maybe you're hiring someone. You pay them a flat rate and they help you build a new course product. All right. You want to leverage other people's knowledge and other people's skills, because you're just not going to be able to do this by yourself. At some point, you can build the course business predominantly by yourself if you want to, but during the startup phase, you're still probably going to want to have some contractors and stuff do, some website development for you or whatever. But as you grow, you will need to start leveraging more higher end professionals to help you scale and grow. With the Elite Nurse Practitioner, I didn't hire a marketing agency to help me for 2 years. I think I did it all by myself for the first 2 years. And then I got to a point where I was like, I need some help with this. I'm tired of doing all these ad campaigns myself. So I hired a marketing agency. I built out, I think like 8 courses using the knowledge that I know, but we have 40 courses with the Elite Nurse Practitioner. So I had to leverage the knowledge of other people to help create other courses. And so with Pro Course Start, I have a couple contractors that help me out with website development, with some ad stuff. So you have to leverage the work of other people. All right. So these are the 5 principles. These are the 5 pillars on how to build a successful online continuing education course business. So number 1, identify a real problem and create a real solution to that problem. That builds value and it builds demand, and you will get students who will buy your courses for the information, not the continuing education credits. Okay? Critically important. Number 2, marketing is the number 1 function of your course business. It's not negotiable. You need to market your course business. You need to market your continuing education course business if you want people to know that you exist. Not negotiable, right? Super important. Number 3, provide consistent, valuable content on a regular basis. You need to be publishing articles and publishing videos at least 2 or 3 times a week, all right? It builds authority, it builds trust, and it establishes your credibility. It's not negotiable if you want a successful online continuing education course business. Number 4, focus on income generating activities, not busy technical details. All right. Get the course business up and running. Get your course built. Worry about the technical stuff later, because at the end of the day, your students care about the value that you are providing them. They care about the information that you're going to teach them. That's going to transform their life. That's going to help them get some CE as well. That's what they care about. They don't care about your tech stack on the back end. They just don't care about that. And then number 5, leverage the knowledge and work of others as you grow and scale, because you just can't do it by yourself. You can do it by yourself at first, but there will get to a point where you're going to need some help. So those are the 5 pillars of building a successful online continuing education course business. In my opinion, those steps are not negotiable. If you do those 5 things, you will be well ahead of the curve compared to anyone else building a CE business within your field. I guarantee it, because a lot of people aren't focusing on those 5 things. So focus on those 5 things and build $1 million course business. All right. Okay. If anyone has any questions whatsoever, leave a comment, shoot me an email, justin@procoursestart.com, and I will get back to you within 24 hours. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.